Hi guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chelsea, and today I'm going to be talking about the most bingeable shows to watch now, the best shows out there. I have about 20 shows that I've picked. And yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe, and let's get into this video. So my number one show is The Originals. This show is just really great. Each season is great. Each episode is great. The acting is amazing. The plot is always interesting, always keeps you wanting more. Everything is excellent. And yeah, I'm going to give you guys a really quick rundown on what this show is about. It's about Klaus, and he is a original vampire werewolf hybrid. And it just revolves around his family. They are the first vampires to ever exist in this world. They just have a whole bunch of drama revolving around that, a whole lot of enemies. There's a lot of action. There's a lot of depth to the characters and their plots and their history, how they came to be about. It's just really good show. Basically, this show like allows you to like and understand a villain, which is very rare. It's like from the perspective of a villain and his family and his life and everything that he does. In the show, you're like, oh my god, like I really was like rooting for a whole villain, a whole crazy murderer person. But it's just really good, and it's literally hands down the best show that I've watched. I don't think any show's ever gonna top The Originals. So definitely check that out if you haven't watched The Originals already. So my number two choice, my second show that I think is the best ever and very bingeable is Teen Wolf. So this show, I feel like when you first hear Teen Wolf, you think of like a teenage werewolf. Like it sounds a little bit corny, kind of, in my opinion. But I watched this show actually back when I was in high school. And I loved it. Like it was just great. Every season, every episode, I really loved this show. I love the actors, all of them are attractive. And the plot is great. The characters are great. And I just recently rewatched this, and it's like if you can rewatch a show and it's still as good as when you first watched it, that's when you know a show is great. And this show is one of them. Also The Originals too. These two shows I rewatched twice and I loved every episode still. But Teen Wolf is just really good. Check it out. So this show is about of course a teenage werewolf and his kind of story, becoming a werewolf and then protecting like his school, his friends. They have like a pack in this show of a bunch of different supernatural creatures. And it's just really cool. They have all this stuff going on in the world. There's a banshee, there's a werewolf. They have just other really cool creatures. They have a lot of depth in their characters, a lot of evolving, great story plot, great acting. It's just really good. It's always changing, always interesting, always like keeps you on your toes. Like you're gonna keep wanting to watch more and more of each episode. There's also a lot of seasons, which I really like about these two shows. And you can literally binge them in a week. I think I binged this show for the second time in 1 week. So definitely check out Teen Wolf. You won't be disappointed. And it's one of the best shows that I've ever watched out there. The third show of my choosing is The 100. This show is just really good. Also has a ton of seasons, very bingeable. The world has ended by like radiation and everything. And these people get sent to space. They live in space. It just shows kind of their backstory on that. Then they get sent back to Earth to try to figure out how to survive and live when basically it's like the end of the world. So yeah, it says that nuclear like reaction and all that destroys civilization on Earth. And there's only a few survivors. They get sent to space after surviving this arc. They get sent back down to Earth and they have to survive and deal with everything. Really good. Great action. I think you guys will love it. Very bingeable. Definitely check this one out if you haven't already. I just want to say really quickly, I kind of forgot to mention what app these shows are on. But if you look up these shows, I'm going to show you guys really quickly on my old crack phone. If you look up these shows, you can like scroll down and it tells you where to watch. You can just Google any of these series that I've told you about, like Teen Wolf, The Originals, and then you just scroll down and it says where to watch and it gives you a couple of places you can watch it. Okay, so the fourth show of my choosing is Jane the Virgin. I feel like this is another show, if you hear it, you're just like, like kind of sounds weird, like Jane the Virgin. At least I thought it was like gonna be like weird or something. But it's really actually great. Great like love triangle drama. It's about a girl who is a virgin but gets pregnant. She's accidentally impregnated by this doctor who inserts sperm in her. You know that whole process. But yeah, she gets pregnant by this doctor who makes a mistake on her that she was supposed to do to someone else. And she's still a virgin at the time. So that's really, really interesting. And it just really evolves from that. Really interesting drama with the baby daddy, with her boyfriend. And I really don't think there's like gonna be another show like this also out. It's on Netflix right now, and there are 5 seasons, start to finish. It's great. It's just really great, really interesting. The 5th show of my choosing is The Flash. I know a lot of people have heard about this show, but it's just really good, especially the earlier seasons. It's about this guy who accidentally becomes a speedster. He's struck by lightning, and he has the power to run fast, saves the world, and then he has this girlfriend Iris. They're really cute together, and it's just kind of their whole mission and his crew and just super villains and all that type of stuff. And if you are into DC shows and you haven't watched The Flash, you have to, because this is literally the best DC show in my opinion. So definitely check out The Flash. If you haven't already, you won't be disappointed. You're gonna binge the mess out of that, I promise. So my 6th show that I decided to put on this list is Euphoria. This show is very, very great. You've probably heard of it if you haven't seen it already, but it's just very unique. And it's about this girl who has like a lot of problems and mental health problems, and like she's addicted to drugs, while some other characters, some really, really great characters, and it's just really, really interesting. It takes place in like high school, so it's a lot of like high school drama dealing with drugs and like relationships and all that. Great plot, great storyline, very unique. I love the Euphoria aesthetic. And yeah, it's just a really great show, very unique. There's only 1 season now, but it's just so good that I had to mention it. Definitely watch this show. You won't be disappointed. It's great, very bingeable, and probably one of the best out there also. My 7th show that I think is like one of the greatest shows out there is Anne with an E. When you first see this show, I feel like it's another one where you're just like, it's giving like Little House on the Prairie vibes. It's like a little girl on the cover, and it just looks like something that I wouldn't normally watch. But this show is so good. It's about this girl who has like an abusive background. She came from an orphanage. She was basically like kind of mistreated and bullied and abused in the orphanage, and she's been waiting her whole life to get out. She's finally adopted by this family, and they take her in and everything, and they love her, and it just shows her character and a lot of character evolving as well. It's very interesting. Really, really love this show. It was just really good, excellent, from start to finish. But definitely check out Anne with an E if you haven't seen it already. Again, you will not be disappointed with this one either. So my 8th show that I chose to talk about is On My Block. So I feel like On My Block is also another unique show. And it's just really, really good. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember loving it, and I want to go back and watch all the seasons. The last season's about to come out. And so yeah, I'm gonna go back and rewatch it. It's just one of those good shows where you can rewatch all the seasons and still be satisfied. It's about a group of friends, their neighborhood, and they have like gang drama. One of the characters' brothers in a gang, and it just kind of shows the story around that. Challenges, problems, and it just has a whole bunch of drama around that, relationship drama. And it takes place in a predominantly like Black and Hispanic neighborhood. And it's just very unique, something you don't really see on TV a lot also. And it's just, like I said, very interesting. You should definitely check it out. You won't be disappointed with that either. The 9th show of my choosing is Stranger Things. This show's about basically a group of kids that like just fight like monsters and like supernatural stuff. Great action, great storyline. If you haven't seen it already, definitely check out Stranger Things. The show that I had to put on this list is called The Circle. This show is a reality show, and it is about a couple of contestants that compete in this strategic competition, and they can come into this circle either being themselves or being a character, and basically like they're isolated in these rooms, these individual rooms where you can't see the people, but you gotta like present yourself through the internet, try to convince people that you're real, you're unique. And there's like a lot of catfishes, and there's people pretending to be who they aren't, and you're able to like watch these people and just watch how they act, and it's just really entertaining. It's really unique. Definitely check out This Circle on Netflix if you haven't already. I think you'll really like it, and season 1 is the best, hands down. So my 11th show is Insatiable. And I feel like this show is very underrated, and it's really, really good. It's about this girl who's bullied, and goes through everything with that in high school, and basically she has a complete makeover and changes she is treated completely different after the change. She enters pageants, she has drama around that. It kind of represents, you know, how superficial people can be, superficial society can be, and how much more drama she has after with all the attention she gains with how different she looks. There's like an accidental murder, drama also, like mystery, a lot of like secrecy around that and confusion. It's just really interesting. Definitely check it out. So my 12th show is called End of the Fucking World. This show is really, really good. It is about two 17-year-olds. They're kind of like odd. One is a psychopath and one is just like this really odd talkative girl, narcissistic girl basically. And they leave home and they go on this adventure trying to find their way. Their families are kind of like ratchet. There's a murder, they murder someone. It just revolves around that, trying to cover that up. Jumping from house to house, sleeping in people's houses, drama within their interactions, relationship. Just, it's a whole lot that goes on, and it's really, really good. Throughout the story, they fall in love. It was really interesting to watch these two problematic characters fall in love and really care for each other. And it kind of shows also towards the end of the guy actually isn't a psychopath since he falls in love with the girl. He just thinks he is, and it's just a lot. You have to check it out. It's really, really good. It has romance, action, lots of drama. So my 13th show is Arrow. Like I said earlier, I'm a really big fan of DC shows and like Marvel, and I feel like Arrow is just an OG one. It is the story of this guy who is stranded on an island for 5 years, several years, and learns to fend for himself, and suddenly goes back to the real world. Before getting stranded on the island, he's a rich boy, rich player boy, and everything, and his life completely changes when he gets stranded and basically becomes like a mountain man. When he goes back, he kind of has to learn how to live in the real world. He becomes the superhero who is the rich boy by day and mountain man basically by night that he learned to be on the islands. And it's just really, really, really good. Flash and Arrow are just the best DC shows ever. So my 15th show is The Haunting of the Hilltop. This show's kind of scary. It's kind of like on the more dark horror side. It's not too scary because I was able to watch it. I usually like to watch a lot of scary stuff. I'm reading the Google rundown because it's been a while since I've seen it, but it was really, really good, as all the others. It's about these children that grow up in what goes on to be a famous haunted house. They're forced back together to confront the ghosts of their past. And there's like, it's haunted. There's like drama around that. Trauma of their past repeat itself in this house, literally because it's haunted. There's only one season out, but it's just one of those really, really, really good one season, lasting impression type of shows. So go check that out if you haven't already. The Haunting of Hilltop. So my 15th favorite show is called Star. It was so underrated, and it was canceled early. I don't know why they canceled it early. Like, it was such a good show, so unique, such a unique plot. One of my favorite shows. The only reason why I have it so far down the list is because it was canceled early, and the ending didn't really put a good like ending closure to like the end of that show, the end of its chapter. But throughout the show, I loved it, and it was still really, really good. And I don't know why more people don't know about this show. It shows about Star, and it shows her life in the foster system, and how like she didn't let like her situation, you know, like she still tries to become a singer. She didn't let her situation affect her dreams. So it shows like the foster system and the drama around that. She had like abusive background. Her and her sister, you know, they went through a lot, and they tried to make it in the entertainment world, being a girl group, being a singing group. Another girl comes in to join the girl group, and she also has like very deep past, and it just shows kind of that also relationship drama trying to make it in the industry. But they come together, they make music, they're great. They struggle, but they're trying to make it, they're trying to get rich. And I like how they portrayed this unique storyline, something you don't see a lot also in television. They should have not canceled it. The singers were amazing. They were all like really, they should have become an actual girl group. I feel like it was good from really start to finish. I just didn't like how they just canceled it and cut it off like that. Definitely go check that out. Go check out Star. The first season is excellent. The others are good. It's one of my favorite shows out, and I think it's one of the best and unique storylines as well. So my 16th show is The Vampire Diaries. I feel like everybody has pretty much seen this or knows about it, just doesn't maybe want to watch it. It's very far down the list because I feel like In the beginning, I really loved it, but things start happening. There's a lot of drama. It's mainly about like romance drama and Elena and dealing with all that while dealing with the vampire world also. It's pretty good. So yeah, if you're ready to be stressed out and be affected by all the changes and all the drama emotionally, because it's one of those really good shows where you just like feel it while you're watching it, then watch The Vampire Diaries if you haven't already. It's great, it's interesting, and it'll keep you like wanting things to be solved, because there's a lot of things that need to be solved all the time in that show. My 17th show is The Crown. It basically tells the life of Queen Elizabeth, and it just shows everything that she goes through being the Queen of England. It's basically just about her story, and it's very interesting. I think you guys really like it. It's on Netflix. It's called The Crown. It's bingeable. Check it out if you haven't already. The 18th show that I chose is Avatar: The Last Airbender. This show is like a classic and it's on Netflix. I just rewatched it like again. Very nostalgic vibes about this boy who has the powers of earth, fire, and water, and he's like an airbender also, and it just, if you probably have heard of it, but yeah, definitely go binge that if you haven't seen it or you haven't seen it in a long time. It's really good still. Very interesting. I think it's probably one of the best cartoons out there. So the 18th show that I chose is Shameless. Shameless is just unique. It tells the story of this family dealing with like being poor, poverty, and dealing with a drunk father and a mother, a drug addict mother. It just tells the story of how the older sister takes care of the family and survives and does all this stuff. It gets into all this drama. It's just very interesting. Like I said, unique. It's not something you see a lot. And yeah, there's a ton of seasons. Go check it out if you haven't. I really like it. It's also on Netflix. But my last show is Once Upon a Time. It tells the story of like Snow White, but it's a completely different like storyline to it. It has some main concept, but it's just different. A whole bunch of drama is added to it. And it's like a lot of depth to it. The characters, I really like this perspective of Snow White. And yeah, definitely go check that out. I don't think it's on Netflix anymore, but like I showed you guys earlier, you can just pull it up on Google and it tells you under the show where you can watch the show. It'll be very interesting to watch and it's very bingeable also. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I gave you 20 excellent shows to watch and you definitely need to check them out because they're all great, all unique, and they're just something that you don't see a lot. The new shows are just not as good as like a lot of these older shows. Whether the show is canceled or it has a ton of seasons, these shows were good like throughout. They don't disappoint. It's always interesting. And I think you'll be very satisfied while watching the 20 shows that I just listed. I hope you guys like this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And check out my covers if you haven't heard me sing already. I'm going to be posting a lot of content like this, so comment down below if you see this video and you like me talking like this. I have a lot more to share. So yeah, stay tuned for more, and I'll check back with you guys next time.